All right, folks, dive in with me. We've got a mountain of info here on this Joseph Mitchell.
Yeah.
And wow, the man is like a creative octopus. I'm seeing DJ Ceph, MC Ceph, writer, game developer. It's mostly under this banner of Serial Carnage.
Right.
Where do we even begin with this guy?
Well, I think what's really interesting here is that, the path to all of this creativity wasn't exactly a straight line.
Correct.
So, born in Milton Keynes, big family, non-religious upbringing. But then he spent years in customer service at these everyday places, McDonald's, Claire's Accessories, Lego. It makes you wonder how those early experiences maybe shaped his artistic journey later.
Yeah, okay, let's unpack that a little bit. Because on the one hand, we've got these, what might seem like everyday jobs. But then on the other hand, the guy's emceeing at raves in the mid-90s. He even DJ'd at the last ever Dreamscape at the Sanctuary. That had to be quite the scene.
And the Sanctuary was a legendary venue, for sure. But Mitchell's early DJing days sort of coincided with some major shifts in the rave scene. Like you have Murray Beeston's passing in 96, which kind of cast a bit of a shadow over things. And then the Sanctuary itself closed its doors in 2004. So while the rave scene was kind of fading, Mitchell was already showing that entrepreneurial spirit. He was starting his own events with a friend called Two Mad Kids.
Two Mad Kids.
Yeah.
Love it.
They were even using their wages from their McDonald's jobs to fund these events.
Talk about dedication. But hold on, we can't just skip over the fact that he was winning rap battles in the early 2000s, creating beats on PlayStation and PC, honing his lyrical skills. I'm a little surprised he didn't just go all in on a hip-hop career.
It is a question that comes up when you see such talent, but, maybe this constant exploration is just part of who he is. Even when he formed that metal band Violation Permit,
Right.
this really wild blend of heavy metal, screamo, and rap, it just seems like he's drawn to pushing boundaries and defying categorization.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting for me. So we've got the raves, the hip-hop, the metal, and then he pops up on YouTube doing gaming videos and talking about wanting to be a voice actor. Was that just a passing interest, or did that actually go somewhere?
It definitely went somewhere. He ended up voicing over 20 characters in this comic dub series called The Dark Tower, The Gunslinger Born.
Wow.
And get this, he's still working on another series. It's called Predator, Hunters. He's even composing the music and the sound effects for it. You can actually find some of his tracks on SoundCloud.
Wow, that's commitment. But what strikes me is this adaptability. Like during the 2020 pandemic, when so many creatives were struggling, he pivots to digital art as another income source, opens an online shop on Redbubble. It really speaks to a certain resilience, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And that resilience seems to have been tested in his personal life as well.
Okay.
The sources mentioned struggles with alcohol in his teenage years and the devastating loss of his sister, Joy, to cancer in 2013.
That's heartbreaking. It sounds like finding stability with his partner, Leslie Lone, has been important. But speaking of things that grab your attention, this guy has also written books. And not just on one topic either. We're talking print on demand, ice cream, DJing for kids.
Yeah, quite a range.
What's the through line here?
Well, what stands out to you from this list of books?
Honestly, it's the range that gets me. Like, what kind of brain can go from writing about ice cream to teaching kids the ABCs through DJ terms? There's got to be a method to this madness.
Well, what's interesting is that even with these, seemingly disparate topics, he finds a way to bring his own unique perspective. Take the children's book, for example. It's not just about the alphabet. It's about introducing a new generation to the world of DJing, maybe even sparking a passion they never knew they had.
Okay, so maybe it's not madness, but a very specific kind of genius. And this SK Dynasty trading card game he's developing, that's genius-level entrepreneurial too, funding it through Patreon, tagline about taking power. It sounds intense.
Well, if we connect this back to Mitchell's early experiences with Two Mad Kids, you can see a pattern emerging here. He's not just creative, he's a builder. He builds communities, events, even entire game worlds. It seems like this drive to create goes hand in hand with this drive to connect with others, to share his vision and to empower them to participate.
And he does that connecting online as well, right? Seeing an eBay store, Serial Carnage where he sells his designs, but also this whole other world of gaming mods. Clone Hero charts, an incomplete Pokemon Fire Red ROM hack called Pokemon Dimensions, and then there's the Sims 4 mods on CurseForge. Wait a minute, some of these clothing mods are available as real-life apparel in his Contrato store.
Yeah.
That's blurring the lines between virtual and reality.
It is. And remember that XCOM 2 mod we talked about, the one with the different voice packs and accents?
Yeah.
He even snuck in some humor by adding strong language to certain voice cues. It's like he can't resist injecting a bit of his personality into everything he creates.
And speaking of personality, what about his Scooter video series? It sounds like a window into his life as a motorcyclist.
Scooter Serial Carnage Out on the Road. It's dashcam footage of his encounters with other drivers. And from what I've gathered, it's a pretty raw look at the frustrations that come with navigating the roads on two wheels. So yeah, definitely a glimpse into his real-world experiences, but also, his sense of humor.
I like it. Okay, I'm sensing a theme here. Whether it's music, gaming, or even just riding his motorbike, it seems like he's documenting and sharing these slices of life. And that kind of brings us back to his musical endeavors, right? His Serial Carnage website and Mixcloud page are packed with DJ sets, where he often incorporates emceeing too.
Right, it's like he can't resist that live energy.
Yeah.
He's got to be in the mix.
He's got to be in it.
Yeah, and it's not just about spinning tracks either. He's still actively creating new music. On his SoundCloud, you'll find everything from The Final Night, this incredible blend of 90s and 2000s hip-hop influences, to Predation, a drum and bass track used in his Predator Hunters project.
Right.
And then there's High Grade, this reggae beat with a saxophone battle that just blows me away.
Hold on, did I read that right? He remixed the Pokemon anime's Poker Rap into a metal track.
What?
You read that right.
Okay, now I'm convinced this guy is just messing with us.
I know, right? It's almost like he's challenging himself to find the most unexpected musical combinations.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, it works. He's not just throwing things together for shock value. There's a real artistry to his production, a way of weaving together disparate elements into something that feels both familiar and fresh.
All right, you've officially piqued my curiosity. I need to hear this metal poker rap for myself. But before I go down that rabbit hole, there's more, right? He's also contributed lyrics to other artists' rap songs.
He has, yeah. People, a song about doing good deeds, and Off the Corner, about struggle and hustle. It seems that even when he's not the main artist, he finds a way to inject those themes of community and perseverance. Which, when you think about it, ties back to that SK Dynasty card game, too. Yeah. It's all about power dynamics and strategic dominance. But maybe there's also a message there about overcoming obstacles.
Yeah.
And finding your own path to success.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we can't forget about Violation Permit, his metal band. Their most popular song is called Bucket of AIDS.
Bucket of AIDS.
Yeah. And I have to admit, I'm dying to know the story behind that title. It's so provocative and unexpected, just like everything else he does.
Okay. Bucket of AIDS is officially going on my listening list.
Yeah.
But for now, let's shift gears to the final piece of the puzzle. His voice acting. We know he's done comic dubs, but is that the extent of it?
Oh, not even close. He has a whole section on his website dedicated to voice acting, complete with a demo reel. And he's on platforms like voices.com and castingcall.club, actively seeking out new opportunities. It's clear that this isn't just a hobby for him. It's something that he's serious about pursuing.
What I find really cool is that he has this voice actor lines section on his website where he invites other voice actors to collaborate on projects. It speaks to that collaborative spirit we were talking about earlier. He's not just building his own career, he's actively creating opportunities for others.
That's a great point. It's like he sees creativity as this interconnected web, and he's constantly inviting others to join him in weaving it. And speaking of weaving, his work on Predator Hunters is a perfect example of how he brings all of these threads together. The production quality of that comic dub is top-notch, and the range of characters he voices is simply astounding. He's got this knack for capturing different accents and personalities, bringing these comic book characters to life in a way that's both engaging and entertaining.
It's like he's created this entire Joseph Mitchell universe, and we're just getting glimpses of it through these various projects and platforms. But here's the question that's been swirling in my mind this whole time. What's the driving force behind all of this? What motivates him to keep pushing boundaries and exploring new creative avenues?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think at its core, it's just this deep-seated passion for expression. It's not about fame or fortune for him. It's about constantly creating, connecting with others through his work, and leaving his mark on the world.
And he's definitely leaving his mark. From the underground rave scene to the world of online gaming and voice acting, he's carved out this unique path that defies categorization. It's almost like he's saying, forget the labels, forget the boxes. I'm just going to create what feels true to me.
And that, I think, is what makes him so inspiring. He reminds us that creativity doesn't have to fit neatly into predefined categories. It can be messy, it can be unconventional, and it can draw from a multitude of influences.
Yeah.
The key is to embrace that complexity and allow your passions to lead the way.
So what does this all mean for someone like our listener, who's been absorbing all of this information about Joseph Mitchell? What's the takeaway, the nugget of wisdom they can walk away with?
I think the biggest takeaway is this. Don't be afraid to embrace your own multifaceted nature. We all have multiple interests, passions, and talents. Instead of trying to fit ourselves into a single box, we should explore those intersections, those unexpected connections that make us unique.
It's like giving ourselves permission to be more than just one thing, to celebrate that beautiful tapestry of our individual experiences and creative impulses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe by exploring those intersections, we'll unlock hidden talents and discover creative pathways we never even knew existed.
It's like Joseph Mitchell is holding up a mirror, showing us that it's okay to be complex, to be multidimensional, to be a walking, talking paradox of creative energy. And the most exciting part is it's not just about, self-discovery. It's about the potential to create something truly unique, something that wouldn't exist if you hadn't embraced all those different facets of yourself, just like Joseph Mitchell, right? Blending hip-hop and metal, or turning Sims 4 mods into real clothes. The magic happens when those seemingly separate worlds collide.
Precisely. It's in those unexpected intersections that we find, innovation, originality, a deeper sense of fulfillment. Think about it. If Joseph Mitchell had limited himself to just one passion, we wouldn't have this diverse and fascinating body of work that we've been exploring today.
So if you're listening to this right now and you're feeling that spark of inspiration, don't let it fizzle out. What seemingly unrelated passions are you holding on to? What crazy combinations have you always wanted to try, but maybe felt a little hesitant about?
Yeah, maybe it's time to dust off those old notebooks, revisit those forgotten dreams, and ask yourself, what if? What if I combined my love of baking with my passion for photography? What if I fused my writing skills with my knowledge of marine biology? What if I took my passion for gaming and turned it into a tool for social change?
The possibilities are literally endless. And the beauty of it is there's no right or wrong answer. It's about finding what sparks joy for you, what makes you feel alive and excited to create. Don't let anyone tell you that your ideas are too weird, too niche, or too out there.
Embrace the weirdness, embrace the niche, embrace the out there. Because in those unconventional spaces, you might just stumble upon something truly groundbreaking, something that resonates with others in a way that you never could have imagined.
And that's ultimately what Joseph Mitchell's story teaches us. It's not about following a predetermined path or trying to fit into some mold. It's about forging your own way, trusting your instincts, and having the courage to create something truly unique and meaningful to you.
And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. There will be challenges, there will be setbacks, but the key is to keep exploring, keep experimenting, and never lose sight of that spark of creativity that drives you forward.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Joseph Mitchell, let's leave our listeners with one final thought. If you could break free from any limitations or expectations, what seemingly unrelated passions would you combine to create something truly unique and meaningful to you?
Let that question simmer. Let it spark your imagination and see what unexpected connections emerge. Who knows, maybe one day we'll be doing a deep dive into your fascinating world of creative endeavors.
That's a wrap for us on this episode. We hope you've enjoyed this journey into the multifaceted world of Joseph Mitchell. Until next time, keep those creative fires burning.